All 7 members of the 51L flight crew are now in the shuttle, and the orbiter test director, Roberta Wyrick, has verified with the orbiter systems engineers that they are ready to close the crew hatch for flight. Once the hatch is closed and locked in place, special plugs of insulating material will be screwed in place.
OBCC, OTC, 212.
Go ahead.
How are we doing on closing the hatch?
That's in work right now.
Okay.
We're doing a continuity check. OTC, OVC.
Go ahead, OVCC.
Okay, on our continuity check, we're only getting 1 micro switch.
Okay. AFM, OTC.
That's AFM, go ahead.
Yeah, did you copy that on the hatch? They're only getting 1 micro switch on the continuity check?
That's firm. Okay, OTC, OVCC.
Go ahead, OVCC.
Okay, we open that hatch inside again. We're still getting 1 light. 1 continuity.
Okay.
MS3, this is CFM. I need you to inspect the linkage on the hatch and look for the arrows on the linkage that should line up when the linkage is over center.
This is shuttle launch control at T-minus 50 minutes and counting. The closeout crew in the White Room continuing to work on the hatch to the Challenger. The problem is that only one of the micro switches on the door indicates it's closed once they have it in place.
CFM.
Go ahead, AFM.
We are going to recommend that this is not a constraint to launch. We don't have a launch commit criteria. We're going to wait for the results of the hatch leak check, but we do have an AVO that says we have one of the 2 limit switches, and as long as everything else checks out all right, and the linkage has been inspected, and the arrows do align on the latches, that this shouldn't be a problem, a constraint to launch.
Okay.
OTC, CDR.
Go ahead, CDR.
Yeah, there's some of those latches that we can't see, and if we have a preference, we'd like to have one of the guys that's very familiar with the latches to come inside, close the door, check them to make sure they're all okay, and then send him back out again.
Okay. OVCC, copy that?
Okay, we're in right now in the process of doing a leak check. If they'll stand by, we'll do that.
Okay.
OTC, CDR.
Go ahead, CDR.
Let Ron tell you what he sees, and if that's acceptable, then we'll go.
Okay, MS3, this OTC, you want to report what you saw?
I can observe maybe 12 or 13 of the arrows. I can't see them all. Anyway, they're all consistent. I show that the arrows are not perfectly aligned with the black markers there. There is some overlap, but it's not dead center. I wouldn't call it center. That's consistent with all of them.
Okay, OVCC, did you copy that? And AFM?
OTC is CFM. That's a usual condition that they won't line up exactly, but they are pretty close, and that is a good indication. And being that we see 13 latches, we know that over half of them are on over center. That indicates that we do have a good latch of the hatch there. So I recommend to proceed without opening the hatch.
Okay,
OTC, launch director.
Go ahead, launch director.
Let's go ahead, and if there's someone in the White Room closeout crew that is familiar with the inside of the hatch, let's put someone in there and make sure. Did you have somebody in there and close the hatch?
That's affirmative, AFM.
Yes, we did. We did it twice. He did not find no anomalies. And the tech said it looks real good in there. Launch directed to Challenger. Launch director, go ahead. Okay, Dick, you make sure that the non-passengers leave before we go today. We'll do that. Thanks. OBC, OTCC.
Go ahead, OVCC.
Okay, we're doing a seal leak check this time.
Okay, did we get both micro switches?
Just one.
This is shuttle launch control at T-minus 30 minutes and counting. They've had a technician in the crew compartment about 3 times now taking a look at the latches on the door. It looks like the door is sealed at the present time. The cabin leak check will verify that.
T-minus 20 minutes and holding.
This is a 10-minute build-in hold. The cabin pressure check has been completed now.
OBC, OTC.
Go ahead, OVCC.
Okay, we got a problem on removing one of the screws on the milk stool. Seems to be stripped.
Okay,
2, 3, 4, 5, test
you are
count out.
working on it, right?
We are working on it.
Okay.
John Conway, who is payload director for the Kennedy Space Center, has pulled all of the payload elements and the tracking and data relay satellite, the inertial upper stage, the Spartan Halley, and all of the mid-deck experiment program managers have announced that they are go for launch.
TTOTC 212.
And we're at T-minus 19 minutes, 58 seconds, and counting. Adding to the world's knowledge of Halley's Comet in particular and our universe in general will be the Spartan Halley free-flying payload, which is on board 51L. The Spartan is a relatively low-cost instrument carrier which can be used for many types of missions. NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center and the University of Colorado's Laboratory for Atmospheric and Space Physics have recycled several instruments and designs to produce a low-cost, high-yield spacecraft to watch Halley's Comet when it is too close to the sun for other observatories to do so. It will record ultraviolet light emitted by the chemical reactions going on in the comet's head and tail when it's close to the sun and therefore most active. Determinations can be made as to how fast water is broken down by sunlight. It'll also search for carbon and sulfur atoms and related compounds and lead to understanding of how a comet's tail evolves.
OTC, VCC.
Go ahead.
Okay, we can't get this one last faster out of the milk stew. It appears it might have to be drilled out.
OVCC, you're saying you cannot remove it.
That is correct. Yeah, I've been working now for 40 minutes on it.
Launch Director, OTC, copy.
Launch Director copies. Okay, do we have the proper tools up there to do that job?
OVCC.
That's the negative. I do not have the drill.
The closeout crew had asked for a battery-powered electric drill and the proper drill bits for drilling out the bolt on the access handle. This handle is used only during the time the orbiter is on the ground for moving the door. They also have asked for a hacksaw. It's not known exactly how long this is going to take. The estimates range from about 25 minutes to an hour. This is a slow operation which must be done very carefully to ensure that there is no damage to the hatch or to the handle. Weather forecasters taking very close looks at the weather as we continue to move into this launch window. One of the concerns is the crosswinds at the shuttle landing strip in case of a return to launch site abort. There could be a possible violation of the crosswind constraints, and they are continuing to look at that. We have just had an indication from the launch director that we go for an inertial measurement unit realignment. This takes approximately an hour and will allow us to go later in the window without having a danger of having to go back and realign at a later time. The decision to do the realignment of the inertial measurement unit is based on the progress which they're making at the pad on the hatch door. The hardness of the head of the bolt is making it very difficult to drill into, and they're in the process of using the hacksaw to cut the handle off of the door. We are picking up to recycle to the T-minus 20-minute point, at which time we will do a realignment of the inertial measurement units.
OTC, OVCC.
Go ahead, OVCC.
Okay, we're going to start now with a closeout of the hatch, installing the carrier panels, and start to configure the white room for fallback.
Copy that.
T-minus 20 minutes and holding. We're continuing to watch the weather very carefully and do not have the best wind conditions at the moment, but we'll be watching those as we get closer to the proposed launch time.
Launch Director to Challenger. LTD, Yeah, Dick and Mike, we're looking at some crosswinds out the runway right now that don't look favorable at all. We're probably going to sit here and wait, hoping for a break, but the best estimate is that the crosswinds are out of spec at the runway and won't improve for the rest of the day. I thought I'd let you know you can be doing some thinking about that. Okay, Gene, thanks for the heads up. We appreciate it. Okay.
The winds have been increasing during the past hour. The weather in the Kennedy Space Center area is going to continue to get much colder. There has been a period of 8 minutes of snow in the Jacksonville area just a short time ago, which is an indication of the way in which the temperatures are coming down as the front moves off and the jet stream brings the extremely cold polar air to the area. The forecast for tomorrow is looking at about 28 degrees Fahrenheit in the launch area at launch time, which would be 9:38.
Countdown clock will resume. 3, 2, 1, mark.
Moving towards a launch time of 12:06.
Challenger, launch director. Launch director, Challenger, go ahead. Okay, we're going to sit at 9 minutes, Dick, and hope that the RTLS crosswind conditions improve. We're not going to go past the 3.5 window that we like to take with you guys with the crew. So we hope between now and 1 o'clock we'll get a good shot at it, but it doesn't look promising at this moment. Okay, fine, Jane, thanks.
We're T-minus 9 minutes and holding.
9 minutes.
The launch team now has been informed that this will be an indefinite hold. The primary concern and the length of the window is determined by the crew fatigue factor and the length of time that the crew should be awake prior to their first sleep period. If we should scrub the launch for today, the earliest we could recycle for would be tomorrow morning. The launch time would be 9:38 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. However, a decision will not be made of whether to recycle for tomorrow or to stand down until a management meeting has occurred. The shuttle management team would rendezvous following a scrub and take a look at all of the aspects of it, including launch team fatigue, crew fatigue, the availability of propellants, the probability of having good weather for the launch, and other factors. A final decision would not actually be made until time for tanking around 10 o'clock tonight. We have just had a announcement from Launch Director Gene Thomas to the crew and to the launch team that we are going to scrub for today, and the people will be coming out to the pad to let the crew out of the orbiter shortly as we recycle the vehicle back to a safe condition.
Yeah.
OTC, VCC.
Go ahead, DCC.
Okay, we're bringing the crew out now.
Okay, copy that, and be advised we will be needing to do a water drain.
That's the far we got the equipment here.
OTC, our crew's going off common. We'll see you later.
Copy that. Sorry about that.